Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaying Mercado de Lisboa. Mercado de Lisboa is a 1 to 4 player game put out by Eagle Griffin. I understand that it sounds very similar to the title of Lisboa, and that may be because of the co-author. Yes, you heard me right. This is a co-authored by Vida game. However, having played it, it does not feel like a Vida game. Firstly, it's substantially lighter, but there's something a little bit not quite as crunchy as all of his other games have been. There's a lot of the mechanism taken out. So my instinct, and I've heard this said on a number of podcasts and different things, but my instinct is that this just has Vida name on it to help it get across the line more than anything else. Having said that, it plays relatively straightforward. So the whole concept is there's a square and you're building some little stalls in the square, and they are going to get points for people who are coming in to visit those stalls. You're placing restaurants next to those stalls to make the stalls more valuable. And that's fine. It plays absolutely fine. What I have noticed on the few plays that I've had of it is that we've got to a point where it's just become easy. Now, what I mean by that is when you place a stall in, you're paying to place that stall, depending on how many other stalls are in the line that you're placing on. That's absolutely fine. I have no problem with that. So at the beginning of the game, you start with 1 money. It costs you 1 money to put a stall in. Then you have to find a way to get some more income. You can get some income by putting down a restaurant or by putting down a visitor to that store. With that, it's super tight and really crunchy, and like, oh, I can't do the thing I want to do, so I'm gonna have to do this other thing so I can get some money to be able to do the thing I want to do. That's absolutely fine. But as the visitors come, they are giving you a multiplier. So depending on how many visitors are visible on the tile that's put down, the first one you put down will probably only show 1 visitor on it, and he's looking for a particular type of food, and that's absolutely fine. That visitor gives a multiplier of 1. But when you get up to a multiplier of 3, for example, so there's 3 visitor faces on there that want to eat whichever type of food is put down, they're giving a 3 multiplier. So if you've managed to position your stalls so that they're getting at least 2, if not 3 income for themselves, multiplied by 3, suddenly that 1 stall can be getting 9 income. And if you have 2 of them, suddenly you've got a whole bunch of money to be able to spend on just getting stalls in without having to worry about a crunch. And I think that this is what is missing from this game. I'm missing the crunch. I'm missing the, oh, I want to do that, but I can't. It happens for the beginning of the game, but further into the game, it doesn't happen at all. I'm not sure if it's having Vida name on this game that has caused me to go, I want this crunch, or if it's just the way I play, that I just want a crunch. I want oh, this is hard, I need to do this other thing so I can do that. But you get a little way into the game and you'll suddenly realize, oh, I've got a heap of money, I can do whatever I want. I did play this as a 3-player game the other day, and I found that the game actually finished a whole bunch quicker than anyone was expecting it to, because the end game is when there's only 4 spaces on the board, or when there's 4 spaces for those visitors on the board. So you really need to keep your eye on that you're working towards that end game, but as it's getting closer, you're making sure you're getting enough visitors coming in to enable you to get the money from the places that you've built. I wonder if in playtesting, people have played it vastly differently to the way I've played it, because I'm playing it to just build up, expecting there to be a huge payoff from the visitors. Whereas I wonder if in playtesting they've played visitors a lot more than what I've played, and so therefore they're getting different results on the tensions of the continuity of this game. Once again, as I say, I do wonder if I've just played too much Vida to have this ease of play and be comfortable with the ease of play. In fact, I fear that I've played some stuff wrong. I've checked the rules a couple of times and the rules are stating the way I've played it. And so I don't think that I actually have any mistakes in the playthrough. Please, if you notice any, please mark them down so that other people who are seeing these videos can go, oh, that was an error. Just so they can understand what's happening. But I don't think that I have made any mistakes in my understanding of the rules. That concerns me a little bit, that there should be a tension as something holding you back from being able to do awfully well whenever a game like this comes through. And I do wonder if there's just not been quite enough playtesting behind it, or if it's a Kickstarter game that hasn't quite come up to the mark, as a heck of a lot of the Kickstarter games do. Just by the by, I don't back Kickstarters now unless they are published by companies that I recognize. If there's a first-time designer on Kickstarter, I'm probably not going to touch it, simply because there's so darn many first-time designs coming out that there's no floodgate. There's nothing saying, hey, let's get some level of something gamey-wise into this. I know that a lot of games are coming through Kickstarter. In fact, a huge majority of games are coming through Kickstarter. But just because you can does not mean you should. And that, I fear, is my concern with all the Kickstarter games that I've come up against. They just feel like Kickstarter games. There's something different in the way we manipulate gaming, the way we understand gaming, the way we allow gaming to work. That games by companies that we recognize sit comfortably and work really well. Now, I understand Stone Meyer, for example. They started as a Kickstarter company and turned into something really huge. I get that. That's one in, I don't know how many thousands. But the general rule is to not, for me at least, to not look at a game unless it's actually backed by a company that I recognize. I'm happy that I don't recognize every company. That's fine. But something that I'm able to look into. If it's made it into the shops, on the shelves in the shops, there's a higher chance that there is some goodness to that game. Now, this game is a Vita Lasada. It is backed by Eagle Gryphon, so it shouldn't feel like a Kickstarter game. And to some extent it doesn't, but there's this thing at the end where it just becomes easy. There hasn't been anything to tighten it up, and I fear that it's this multiplier that has caused that to happen. I fear that the way I play to not just make a store worth 2 points by itself, but to make it worth 3 or 4 points if I'm able to, and then throw the multiplier onto that. Even a 2 multiplier, so 2 people visiting, is going to turn a 4-point place into $8 when they visit it. I just want it to be hard. I want there to be a crunch. I want that to... It just doesn't happen with this game, unfortunately. And I really do mean unfortunately, because it's beautiful on the table. It looks good. It plays easily. It plays well. But it doesn't play like a Vita Lasada. And I think that might be the crunch of it. I do wonder if having the Vita Lasada name on the box has enabled it to get published without it actually feeling like a Vita Lasada. And I understand that, look, Vita Lasada has commented on my videos before when I've made goofs on a rule. So there's every chance that he may well look at this. There's every chance that the publishers may well look at this. And that's fine. I do wonder, and it's a deep down wonder, if we put a name, a recognized name onto the box, does that automatically mean it's going to be a good game? Or does it need to be a game by that particular designer to make it the good game? And I think it's the latter of the two, the second part of the two, that this needs to be more input from Vita Lasada to make this the good game that it should be. As I said before, I fear that my thought process, my inkling of this game is set up and deflated by the fact that there's that one name on the box. If you can get past that, it's actually a really playable game. It's an easy game. It plays relatively easily. Please go ahead and watch my Gamesplay and Gamesplanation to get a feel for how this game actually plays and what goes into it and all the stuff that you need to do. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be Gamesplained, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games that I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.